The Sypik Avatar has become my main paddle just because of how versatile and dynamic it feels. It's powerful, yet soft when I need it. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Pickleball channel. Today, we're going to be doing an in-depth review on the brand new Sypik Avatar. Before I say anything about the paddle, just for full transparency, I was sent this paddle by Sypik USA. Big shout out to Duke. However, I was not required to make this review, nor did they have any input, so these opinions are 100% mine. First things first, the Avatar is an elongated shape paddle with a 16mm core and a 5.55-inch handle, which is more than enough for two-handed backhands. The Avatar features a fully foam core and T700 carbon fiber face that is extremely gritty. My personal setup for the Avatar is that I have two 7-inch strips of 0.5 grams per inch tape running along the throat up the paddle, and I also use a Bodhi overgrip. If you're interested in any of these products, make sure you hit up Bodhi Pickleball and use code PIPPETONE15 for 15% off your order. And with all the specs out the way, let's get into the paddle's performance. Just like an actual pickleball rally, I'm going to start this review from the baseline and bring it up all the way into the kitchen. The Avatar is amazing for players that are looking to be offensive with their serve. The power that the foam core generates and the spin that you get from the face allow you to hit serves very deep with tons of spin. The Avatar made hitting third shot drives and drops effortless. The paddle almost knows when it's time to be powerful and when it's time to soften up. My drives had lots of pace while my drops were able to float right into the kitchen. The fully foam core gives the players a very responsive feeling when hitting the shots. Not a lot of dwell time like most 16mm paddles, so that is definitely something that makes the Avatar stand out. The sweet spot on the Avatar is definitely solid. You're still able to generate power even when you hit the ball slightly off center. Moving up from the baseline to the transition area, half volleys and resets felt great with the Avatar. At first, a lot of my resets were coming up short and clipping the net. I think that's because the baseline power of the Avatar is slightly less than that of the Eula Perseus, which is the paddle I was using before this. So on resets, you're not really able to just let the paddle do all of the work. You definitely have to put some force behind it unless your opponent is hitting a very hard shot at you. But once I dialed the paddle in, I was able to hit resets very well. Now let's talk about the Avatar in the kitchen. Dinking felt great with this paddle as the face is able to generate tons of spin when I'm slicing my dinks or doing topspin rolls. And then when my opponent popped up a dink, I was able to be very offensive as this paddle generates lots of pop. However, when opponents were able to attack me, I felt like my counters were very poppy and my resets allowed me to slow down the points with ease. And when opponents were hitting drives at me, I felt like I was able to firmly block their shots with the Avatar while it not feeling out of control. When I was at the Eula Orlando Celebration Tournament, I was using the Perseus, but I started struggling with some of the opponent's pace. They were hitting the ball way too hard and I felt like I couldn't control the Perseus. I switched to the Avatar and I did a much better job at controlling the opponent's drives. So overall, if you are a fan of the Sypik Triton, the Avatar feels like an upgrade in almost every way. The Avatar is definitely a step up when it comes to power, and I just prefer the feeling of the foam core rather than the Triton's Gen 3 core. And whenever I play with the Avatar, people are always like, yo, that's the Avatar, yo, can I try it? I let them play with it for a game and they just absolutely love it. And look, if you don't believe me, I did get this paddle sent for free. So you might think I'm slightly biased, but even major pickleball reviewers such as Pickleball Studio had a lot of positive things to say about the Avatar in their first impressions.
So I think the performance is solid. Performance-wise, I could tell people, if price was no question, you didn't care, I could tell people this is a good paddle.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. I think it plays perfectly fine. I liked it for everything. Hands felt really good. Sweet spot was good. Power was good. Drives felt great. Like there wasn't an issue. Like there wasn't a area in the court where I was like, this is a downside. Like this felt bad.
Yeah.
If you are interested in copying an Avatar, make sure you hit up my uncle at weenola.pb on Instagram. He's an ambassador for the brand and could get you a great price. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Sypik Avatar. This paddle is definitely elite and has become my main paddle of choice. Let me know down in the comments if there's any paddle or any other pickleball products you'd like me to review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.